Hi everyone, this is John Ditchburn here, just standing in for Adam during his week off. So, wanted to share with you some thoughts for the day. I guess they're going to be quite disjointed from the ones that have gone before, but maybe there's a theme running through it all that the Lord's got planned. So, uh, last in the last few weeks, one of the things that has been in my heart and mind a lot is the words of Jesus from the Lord's Prayer when he said, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Um, and obviously, that's something that if you know the Lord, if you are wanting to see His will done, that is going to be in your heart quite a lot, and it's been weighing in my heart. So what does that look like? What does it look like when heaven comes? Well, Jesus, when he started to preach, actually gave a kind of a manifesto of what the kingdom of heaven looks like under the rule of him, the King. Um, and he said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he's anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim that captives will be released, and that the blind will see, that the oppressed will be set free, and that the time of the Lord's favour has come." That is in Luke chapter 4. And that is when he began to announce that the kingdom of God uh, was coming, and that he was the king of that kingdom. Um, Obviously, for the next 3 years, he went around demonstrating what the kingdom looks like, and putting into action the words that he'd spoken about. Um, he was crucified, resurrected, and completed the old covenant. Everything that the prophets had spoken about, everything that God had planned for the best part of 2,000 years, was completed when he was raised from the dead, and paid the price through his crucifixion for our sin. Now, after that, he appeared to his disciples over a period of about 6 weeks. And then he went to heaven. He was taken up into heaven. And before he went, he told the disciples that they were to go into all the world and do the same as he'd been doing. It tells us that Jesus, in the New Testament, it tells us that Jesus appointed 12 apostles who were to lead the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. The interesting thing is what that word apostle actually means. It comes from a Greek word, apostolos, and it was not a religious word in any way. It was actually the name given, or the title given, to a Roman general. It's a military term, and it fits with how the Romans used to conquer nations and bring them into the empire. So obviously, the first military that went into a place, they fought and conquered. Military victory led by generals who were primarily focused on the fight. But then, after they'd won the battles, it was the job of the general who was the apostle to come in, and his job was to make the culture of the place that had been conquered just like Rome. In other words, the Romans recognized that if they were to leave a lasting impression on a place, they had to make it become like Rome itself, to culturize it. So, really, what the Lord said was that He wanted His apostles to go into all the earth and make the earth like heaven, make it like God's kingdom, which, of course, is the bit of history that we're in. But not to do it by military conquest, not to do it by killing people, but to do it by winning hearts. So a person becomes a part of that kingdom when they open their heart to God and ask Jesus to be king. So, because of that, of course, it's a kingdom of free will, it's a kingdom of love, and it's a kingdom where God's goodness flows in. So, I've been asking myself a question at the time of this global reset, which is kind of, what does this kingdom look like? Where are we on the timeline of the fullness of God's kingdom coming to earth? What is it He's wanting us to look to Him for now? What should we be looking for? How should we be seeking Him? Clearly, with all of our hearts, so that we can see earth become ready for the return of the King. So, there are my thoughts for today. Hope you found that helpful. See you soon.